welcome to Wrong Side of the River Gearheads. I'm Sarah.
Mitch.
Nick.
And we're here to talk about So You Bought a Jeep. We're very sorry about that. It's something that we should start off by saying. I would definitely say the Jeep community is a little bit of a cult.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah.
Starts with a wave.
Starts with a wave, ends with some popcorn.
There's ducks involved. I don't know.
If you want to.
If you want to, if that's your thing. I got duck today in the most peculiar spot. But oddly, my son made a friend with somebody, and it was his mom who owned the Jeep.
Oh.
Hundreds of kids playing, and my kid found the one kid who had the other Jeep in the parking lot.
Well, there's no question of his parentage.
No, and it was the first time I'd actually heard my son brag. He's just like, "Oh, that's your Jeep. My mommy's is the monster truck," and I was like, "Oh."
This is a proud moment.
And I'm
for
like,
me.
"Oh wow, let's not. We don't need to tell people that." Yeah, your Jeep is small. My mom's is the big one with the big tires. And I'm like, "Oh god."
Yeah, but your Jeep makes more noises than hers does, probably.
Yeah, it was a jail. It was electric blue. No, electric
No, it was
teal.
a teal. It was a teal one because Ashton said it was blue, and he's like, "No, it's teal." I was like, "Oh God, we're gonna have a fucking dispute about Jeeps."
It's happening.
But anyways, no, it's I really feel it's a tight knit community.
Yeah, very.
I'm not gonna lie, like
Once you embraced it.
yeah.
Yeah, once you've decided that, hey, like I want to take it out. Hey, I want to meet people. I want to do coffee. I want to do trails. I want to do mods.
Mm-hmm.
You know, stickers and ducks. Where else do you go, right?
Well, there's so many, like, I really feel that if you're going to off-road, there's so many necessary mods off the bat for certain vehicles.
And
Like
trim levels too.
And trim levels. I do believe that any 4-door needs to have a lift kit in it.
Yeah, and rails.
And rails, yeah. Well, I mean, I ran stock rails for how many years, so.
But we still had something.
Yeah, we still had something.
If you get a Rubicon or a Willys, then you got the rails built in.
Mm-hmm.
And they're perfect.
Oh yeah, they're great.
Or you're a sport and you go on Kijiji.
Yeah, that's true.
Find some Rubicon rails.
Craigslist, yeah.
Those are probably
Marketplace.
some of the best value for what they do on the market.
Mm-hmm.
If you can pick them up used. I don't know what they're worth for Mopar, but
I'm sure they're a lot of money.
yeah.
But they bolt right on and people take them off their Rubicons and Willys.
Yeah.
Yeah, to go to the style that we have that kind of wrap around.
Yep. Just and they're not going to last as long, I don't think.
The style that you have, or the Rubicon?
If you run them in the wintertime, they're not galvanized. They're not...
No, and
but that's why we have winter mode and we have summer mode.
But they're strong. Like how many times have I had my Jeep sitting on the rail?
True.
And there's some scratches on it. But
I say there's some scratches on mine too.
Yeah.
They've taken. I'd say the rails take a decent amount of damage.
I was gonna say in yours, I think if you look at the body line, they line up kind of with the door handle, so it'll pivot on that with a tree.
Mine does.
What?
I think so. Do they not, or do yours suck in a little bit?
His are just rails underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Underneath?
No.
Like my dad's.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Like Ken's.
They don't stick out. So yeah, a tree I'd still be caving in the door. But
Oh, great.
No, ours. Yeah, I was just saying mine cover that point.
Gotcha. Because I was thinking about red Jeep when red and black actually, when it was beside a tree and it just kind of slid right down the rail, and then came out around the tire, caved in some of the fender, and then ripped off the taillight and license plate bracket. So.
Yeah.
So that's not really selling. So you bought a Jeep.
Yes. No.
But this stuff happens. Yeah. It could happen.
I think it's if you walk into the whole thing of you're not going to get scratches, you don't want to have any dents, you don't want to have any water in your vehicle, you don't want to have your inside dusty and dirty. I mean,
Don't take it off road.
Don't take it off road.
Keep the top on. Keep it in on the road.
Yeah.
Because
but then but there's lots of things to enjoy outside of off-roading. Like there's so many Jeep shows to go to where you don't have to off-road. Yeah. We had the Canadian Jeep Show. We host our annual show and shine. There's a lot of local clubs that do show and shines throughout the year, and there's no reason that you have to go off-roading if you don't want to, but you still want to be a part of that lifestyle.
Yeah, and
and
it's you can modify it however you want. You can make it look like whatever you want.
Yeah,
because there's countless choices.
Absolutely.
Think about how much fun we have throwing the doors on and going for ice cream in town.
Well,
hey, Nick, we're going for ice cream. Okay, I'll be there in a few minutes.
Yeah,
and then we all just hang out and have ice cream.
Yeah.
And that's actually a lot of fun. I like that.
Yeah,
and that's not off-road at all.
No.
No.
No, we do ice cream. We do Tim's runs. We do all sorts of things. We do our Canada Day parade where we drive around and
and that's just all on road.
that's all on road. We had our annual coffee meets last year. We have like our garage meets this year. So, I mean, there's a lot of things to do that is not just specifically like, hey, you own a Jeep, now you got to take it off road to be cool. Like, I know some people feel that way, but it's
there's gatekeepers in any community.
Yeah, I'd rather
I get so much flack for mine being an automatic.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping my transmission is in the shop. Yeah. Maybe one day.
But I mean, I got it an automatic because I didn't want to wait 6 months for manual.
Yeah,
and the automatic's been fantastic.
Automatics are great for off road. Yeah, yeah. No, they are.
No, they are.
You don't have a clutch to worry about.
No,
it's one less thing.
Yeah, it's one less thing. So if you swamp it, you're not swamping your clutch. Not burning it out. You're not trying to hold it and go when you're up on a rock or something precarious.
And then
so
you
there's a lot less jam, so you got a lot more control.
True. And think of that one trail, Forest, where we've had two-door to two-door comparison, where you've been in a situation where you can just keep steady pressure, steady like gas on it, and just kind of slowly creep up, you know?
Yeah.
Or you can give it a little bit of bump while you're already doing the creeping. Yeah. Whereas with the manual, you're in gear, you commit, you know? Yeah. Or you can lug it down a little bit, but only so much, and you'll stall it. Yeah. Remember, we had that one Jeeper that kind of just kept walking himself, because it was just playing a little bit on the clutch back and forth, and just kept walking back, and next thing you know, he's in the weeds, and we had to winch him. Yeah. So, but that just happens, right?
It just happens.
Yeah. And that was a tough spot and a tough trail.
I was just saying that is a really tough trail, so it's really
kind of my favorite. Dry, close, and short. Yeah.
Well, the XJ does make some trails look bloody simple. It's ridiculous.
That's a unique vehicle.
So, and with your XJ's manual, but the gearing, you've got the gearing that you barely have to worry about using the clutch.
Yeah. So it's a heavy flywheel, the old style engine, the 4-liter. Yeah. And with the dual transfer cases, if you just want to have a technical spot, you can just idle it through, and then it just goes. You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a tractor.
Yeah. So that's...
If you can believe it used to be slower. When he had the 33s on it, it used to be even slower.
I can see that. You should go down to 31s.
And not be able to go over anything.
Yeah.
No, I just remember driving it down the driveway once. Yeah. And like I just hopped in, you asked me to move it. It was the first time I had driven it when we were first hanging out.
Oh, like 12 years ago.
Yeah, like a long time ago. And I remember it popped in and it was in 33s and it was in low, and I was just like,
where are we going?
And the Jeep was just like, you walked up and you're like, do you want to go faster? Because I think it was like 10 minutes and I hadn't even hit like the edge of the driveway yet. Yeah. And you came up and you're like, here, let me show you. And I'm like, I didn't want to touch it because I wasn't sure which was which.
There's so many levers.
Well, there was labeled, a lot. You don't know.
Right? So, and I'm like...
Sometimes in the spring I've got in and I go to try to put it into what I deem to be too high in the rear. And I'm trying to put too high in the front and it won't go. I'm like, why? What is wrong with this thing? Yeah, so anyhow, and then you're like, oh yes, you clue in. Oh yeah, that I've got the pattern backwards.
Yeah, see, and that's why I didn't touch anything, because I was like, what makes sense to me might not actually be what it is.
What makes sense to everybody else might not make sense to me.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, so it is what it is.
One of the first times I rode with him in his Jeep, he had the door open and he's watching the gas gauge and it goes down to 0 and the light comes on and he stops and he just stops pumping gas, and I'm like, but the light's on. This is a problem. There's a long wait to the next gas station. Then finally, I think a little while later in the day, you're like, oh no, the wires are backwards.
When it's empty. From a different year.
Yeah, when it's empty, it actually means it's full. I was like, oh, thank God, because I was like, we are going to run out of gas.
I definitely should switch the wires, make it make sense.
No, because then when you're like, don't tell your kids, and when they get to driving age, and they hop in, oh, that Jeep's empty. Oh, the XJ has gas in it. All right, they get out the driveway and it runs out of gas.
Yay! So what are some first mods then? So we've bought the Jeep, we've got duct, we've got some stickers on it.
Well,
maybe some rails, right? We've decided we're going to get some rails.
Rails and a lift, and we say lift. It doesn't need to be a spring lift. It doesn't need to be a 4 or 6 inch. It's just a 2-inch puck lift, like
2-inch puck lifts,
or leveling kit.
Yeah, they're around $200, $250, depending on who you get them from.
Yeah, and you get your spring spacer or spring puck, I guess.
Yeah, and your brake line relocator.
Brake line relocator and your shock extenders.
Yeah, shock extensions. Yeah, I'm like, there's one other thing in that kit.
Yeah, shock extensions.
That and a set of 35s on a JL changes everything.
Well, even on your stock, excuse me, but even on the stock tire size, it's a huge difference.
Well, the Willys and the Rubicon, both on stock tires with that same lift, impressive difference. Yeah, go from touching your belly a little bit on the chassis, on the body, not the body, but on the chassis skid plate, to just.
But even if you have a Sport or a Sahara, if you put that lift in and you want to off-road it, you can go on some trails even with your stock highway tires and not have an issue, especially around here, because there's a few trails you can go on with highway tires, not have an issue. But the problem then becomes you're rubbing belly all the time. So you get it up off the ground, you're golden.
True.
I think another mod that you and I have definitely done, you haven't yet, but that's a whole other ball game, is headlights.
Yes. Because
I remember driving your Jeep one night home from my parents' house.
Yeah, I believe we talked about this in a previous episode.
Yeah, and that was
and you're
horrible.
Like, oh, I should have just used my phone. I'm like, I would have.
It probably would have been brighter. I was literally driving home and I'm like, I can't see. I was doing like 50 and a 60 and I was just creeping because I'm like, I can't see anything with the stock headlights. But we didn't drive my Jeep much at night when we first had when we had the stock headlights. So when you had
the candles in it.
No, because we had exactly the
selling
candles.
Lamps, eh?
I think those are brighter.
I think there's whale oil.
I think the whale oil is probably brighter than what they were. Oh my gosh, these were like batteries of a flashlight that was pretty much dead, and that's what you had to look through.
Like, they're horrible.
Yeah.
And even the JL, you can get the LED headlights with the JL. Those are fantastic. Yep. But the base trim models, they still come with the incandescent.
Well, we had one of our members who had a Rubicon, and the lights were on back order, and she didn't have the lights.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember when she was leaving Ardbeg, and she had to have Kenley because she's like, I can't see anything.
Yeah.
She's like, I have my high beams on, and there's nothing there.
No.
Yeah. No, and that's a brand new Jeep.
And that's a brand new Jeep.
Brand new.
No, if you're thinking about buying a Jeep and you're looking at JLs, wait for it. Do the upgrade. Buy the
very
buy
much
the light
worth
package.
the money to get the LED light package.
They shouldn't even allow the stock headlights to go out anymore.
They're dangerous.
It's not safe.
No.
Because have we ever seen anybody upgrade the bulb? No. Everyone always has. You just upgrade the whole assembly.
I feel like we've had someone upgrade a bulb.
Yeah.
No. Because it's a sealed unit.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I could have sworn we had someone update it.
No, it's a sealed unit.
No. But I was just say, you always said that your headlights were really bright, but you have a little bit of a wiring. You have a Petite Cerise in there. Who have made your wiring less bright.
The square is actually a pretty nice pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, say the square.
When they're both on.
Yeah.
When the mice,
and it has full voltage.
Yeah.
Yes, well,
but like to upgrade lights, like again, there's so many options. You can do the cheap Amazon, $120 for the pair, all the way up to what is it, JW speaker that are
I have no idea
$1,000 for a pair of headlights.
Yeah, and I imagine that's I don't know maybe if it's 100% worth it, but I'm sure the
build quality is there, like 100%. So the issue with the Amazon headlights, at least mine, is you plug them in, you put your adapter so that the DRL will work, daytime running lights will work. Daytime running lights come on, it's your high beams.
Yeah.
So in the daytime, unless you want to flash everybody high beams, you got to turn your lights on all the time. And they have to be aimed different. Okay. So when you change the housing and everything, they have to be aimed different.
Sure.
I was just say that's why we actually ran the ProCal with ours, like with all the mods that we've done.
Takes care of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can have it. So if you want your your low beams to be your DRLs, or you want no DRLs, or you want like the fogs. I think you can do the fogs.
I think you can do a bunch of different changes when it comes to the ProCal. At least for the JKs, I haven't looked in to see what the JLs are.
So, but yeah,
I might have to invest in one of those.
It's really bloody handy. It fixes the speedo and everything like that. Like I do believe if you're going to go bigger tires, if you're getting more into a build, you're looking at gear changes and everything like that. It's just so much easier.
Yeah.
To get a ProCal, like it takes. Well, we have our winter tires and we have our summer tires.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point.
We changed we can do everything, and it's just you flick the switches, you plug it in, it beeps twice, it's done. So I don't know. I think it's a good solid investment, especially if you're going to go up tires. You're going to do headlights. I do think it's something that is worthwhile to.
And what's the ProCal worth? $250.
I think it might be more now.
It's more now. It used to be a lot cheaper, but they are VIN locked. That is one thing. If you're going to look on Amazon, or sorry, not Amazon, on Marketplace, Kijiji, anything
Craigslist,
like that,
whatever,
Craigslist, they are VIN locked.
So you got to make sure that if you do buy one, that the person that you're buying it off of has that Jeep still there, and they can unlock it for you, because you need the Jeep present.
Yeah, because the Jeep needs to return to stock.
Yeah.
So there's nothing on the ProCal, and then that'll make it available, because we actually had a ProCal given to us.
Someone's like, here, I don't know if this is worth anything. Do you want to try it? Well, I think we went to plug it in and it wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, because it was VIN locked to his Jeep that was sold years ago.
Yep.
I've heard that you can actually contact them and they'll unlock it.
Oh, well, we have a deal for you.
I was just saying, we have a deal for you
as
then.
As long as the VIN that it's locked to hasn't been reported stolen.
Oh.
Or that unit hasn't been reported stolen, they'll unlock it.
Okay.
So they'll do a quick check, and apparently.
Okay, well, that'd be worth it, because like I said, sit there
that's the whole
collecting
thing.
dust.
We don't have a VIN for
it. Because
it.
it's super chips, right?
AEV.
Oh, it's AEV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
We're
completely off topic, but yeah, it's
it's still
I guess
an upgrade.
Yeah,
it's something that someone could go through. Oh, I'm going to save a few bucks. Start scrolling.
Like,
this one's $50.
Yeah, $50. Sweet, good deal. Traded my Jeep in. Perfect. You don't need that anymore. Wow.
Yeah, I got this $50 paperweight.
Yeah.
Oh,
perfect.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that one's just been moving around in our garage pretty much for the last 4 years minimum.
Yeah. Is your Speedo pretty close?
No, we don't want to talk about that.
It's 10 clicks off.
Okay.
That's not terrible.
It could be a lot worse.
Yeah, it could be worse.
I think it's about right on.
But it's not a consistent 10 kilometers off. It's a scale.
Oh, percentage.
Depending on it's a percentage. So depending on how fast you're going. So if you're doing 40, it's only a couple kilometers an hour off, which isn't a big deal. If you're doing 100, 10, 15 is a big difference.
Yeah. So you're cool in a school zone.
Yeah. Which is the important thing, because with a Jeep you're not bombing down at least not in mine anymore, bombing down the 401.
Yeah, it's not a 392 Willys, is it?
Yeah.
I say I definitely do not bomb down highways anymore. I'll get there when I get there.
So, even when my Jeep was new, I'd go on I could keep up to traffic on the 401 when my Jeep was new. But that's stock tire size,
stock height,
everything.
Yeah. No, when I put my in previous years, not this year per se, I think because just the rims were so heavy. But there was one year where we put the aluminum winters on, and I was like, oh my, I feel I'm a race car.
It's a rocket ship,
right? And they were 35s, but I mean, like I was just like, I am speed. I think that's probably the smoothest and fastest my Jeep would go.
You're in a Mazda commercial,
right? Zoom.
I guess you just take all that rolling inertia, weight, whatever.
Yeah.
And like picking those buggers up is heavy.
Oh yeah.
And the 35s, even though they're a considerable amount lighter in the tire, the rim itself is heavy.
Yeah, the rims are really heavy. The Ford rims are really heavy.
Super duty 18s that are meant to haul a plow and a dump truck behind.
Yeah, they're.
So we are horrendously off topic. Where are we? So
we covered like lifts. A little bit on rock rails. I'd like to touch back to rock rails though. Mm-hmm. If you're going to take it off road, pick a style that doesn't have the step hanging down.
Yes.
How many people have you seen hung up on that step, or that they catch that step, try and jam it through, and it rips off?
Yeah.
Or it's just it may not be a problem on that trail, but it's continuously digging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you start lifting a Jeep, And it gets higher and higher. And if you're a shorter stature person, you need that step. But then if that step doesn't swing away or you don't take that off, it's there.
Or if it's all mangled or...
Yeah. There's no hope in getting it back on if it's one of the bolt-on removables and stuff like that. So, yeah, no, absolutely.
Donate to the trail gods.
Yeah.
Sacrifice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there can be deals. Deals can be had.
Oh yeah.
If you keep an eye on Marketplace on Facebook, occasionally some deals come up that are pretty decent.
You got a Black Friday deal on yours?
I say we got a Black Friday deal on Extreme Terrain. Like they're not even close to that price that we got them for.
No. Again, timing's everything. I didn't even think we were in the market, but we were looking, and they were on sale. And we're like, "There's no way."
No, I'm like, there's gonna be one.
Yeah, one. Like,
yeah.
They were $75.
Yeah, or $89. It was
right?
something ridiculous.
For the pair?
For the pair.
Why didn't you tell me?
Well,
you had to cut them down.
I don't care.
Cut them, weld them.
For $90 American.
That was Canadian.
That was Canadian.
And we didn't believe it. We did not believe it.
We didn't believe it. We thought it was a hoax.
We're like, who is this company? This is not real. And then it showed up, and we're like, okay.
Yeah. And they were fantastic.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's why you and I are like, fuck if they need paint.
Yeah, so we usually like kind of after take them off after season wheel, we knock out all the dust and dirt, spray a little bit of oil.
I understand better why you do that now, because the quality of steel in it is probably pretty.
It's gonna flake off eventually.
There's a lot of sand in it.
Yeah, but it's...
And we know the country of origin.
Yeah.
But it seems pretty decent
Yeah,
though. Like
fine.
I mean, like
they haven't dented, and you've pirouetted.
I've done.
Oh, like strong. They'd be good and strong for sure, but more of the I'm thinking the holding up to the salt and the rust.
Yeah.
But that's why all that stuff comes off.
They don't have the alloys in it. Yeah.
But that's
they're
why all
made
my
a lot
stuff
from
comes
like
off.
scrap.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but yeah, like I said, I think we ran them for one winter or a partial part of the winter or something.
I think we ran them for a few months, and I think it was because we went away and stuff wasn't done beforehand, so we ran it a little bit longer than we should have.
Yeah, that's the time. That's the time we go vacationing. Right?
Yeah, it's usually when we do the switch over.
And if we don't have everything ready, which we're never prepared.
No, it's almost
it
like
always sneaks up on you.
Well, I really think that we're just like, summer's gonna last a little bit longer. It'll be fine.
Yeah, all of a sudden
then we have
it's
the end
November.
Of
yeah, and all of a sudden, oh my gosh, it's snowing outside, and we have not put the winters on the Jeep.
Oh, we still have the bumper. Oh, we still have the rails. Oh.
Thankfully, a lot of that stuff you can just totally do on your own.
Yep.
But it is nice to give you a hand.
I do. The rails are hard because if you don't, I don't want to wang them off the body while I'm doing them. So it's always nicer to have that second set of hands just to steady it to get it on. Sure. And as soon as it's on, you're fine. You know, and that's usually kind of how we.
In a Jeep that's been wheeled, if you're familiar with the bottom of the chassis, there's a pocket for the body mount, and that's where these go on.
Okay.
And the thing is, the body mounts have been smashed by rocks and related debris. So,
yes.
What are you saying?
Yeah. So as a result, they don't go on super easy. And then those ones have a floating hanger and a unique style hanger here, and then the one that's fixed at the back. And you kind of wiggle them on. So they're not bad. All the hardware's all been anti-seize and stuff, but yeah.
I'd say they come off. Both sets, like the winter ones, come off really nicely. The summer ones go on really nicely bolt-wise. But it is sometimes a bit difficult to kind of line them up. But
because we had talked about if we had a shop, that's what we would offer. We do the changeovers, the spring and the fall, with hardtop storage.
Yeah, I was going to do hardtop storage and everything like
because
that's
it may take a couple hours.
And what about like hardtop storage for a weekend? Well, yeah.
There's another option
because there's a lot of people that don't necessarily maybe have a garage or a place to keep their hardtop, so it never comes off. But they'd love to, but they have nowhere to keep it. Well, especially if they have a Sahara with the color matched top.
I figured they just wanted the. There was a 2-door Willys that just kind of needed a top taken off periodically.
Could you imagine? Your Jeep would look awesome. I think it's because you've had it off a couple times.
Many times. There was one summer it never went on, almost.
But Nick has a bad shoulder. So.
And they are relatively heavy. I'm not gonna lie.
I used to be able to do it myself. When I first got the Jeep, I was able to do it myself.
Wow.
But you got to remember too. Like I know my top is heavy. But you have to think about it. He is missing that whole section over the back doors.
Oh, okay.
His top is so much lighter than ours.
Oh, so much.
And it doesn't have that stupid counterweight of that little duck rim
it's fairly well balanced. Like if you are careful where you pick it up, one person can pick it up, and as long as you're smart with how you set up where you're going to set it, you can just kind of set it down.
Sure.
But it's hard on the shoulders.
And it's like you have that I cannot drop this mentality.
Yeah.
Because the glass, poof, the tail light gone.
Or just the top cracks. And
then what?
Mm-hmm.
Then what?
Like, I think they are probably some of the... I will say that the JK was a huge step forward in many different things, many respects we talked about.
We talked about that today.
Chassis for one, body structure for another. But things that are bolt-ons, like the top and the roll cage, is very simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they...
I find they're a lot more structural. Yeah. Like, I'm not sure...
they're not nearly as flimsy as the old TJ.
Yeah, I was just saying, because my YJ top, you picked it up and you could feel it, like, moving.
Yeah. And the TJ is a step above the YJ.
Yeah.
Not a big step, but it's a step above. And then the JK is just that next level.
But the JK feels like it has, like, a solid structure to it.
Yeah.
Like, you don't feel that, like, warbling in it when you take it off the body. Like, the YJ one was solid when it was bolted on. But when you took it off, like, when I was working on it, I took it off.
Yeah.
Right, so I could get it inside the garage because I had to fold the windshield down, take the roll cage off, right?
Well, that's real Jeep stuff.
Yeah, there was because I couldn't put rollers on it because I only had 3 of the rollers because my brother gave away one of my rollers. Yeah. So I took all the air out of the tire and I still could barely squeeze it in.
If I could ever do one thing, it would be to strip a JK down and fold the door down, or fold the windshield down, take the doors off, take the roll cage out. And
I've been trying. There was another Jeep today where I was like, "Hey, so." Want to get another one? And you were just like, I'm like, it's a 2011. Let's strip it for parts. And he's just like, it's too expensive for parts. I'm like, yeah, but then we'll have a frame and a tub and we can ton it.
2-door.
He wasn't taking it. He wasn't taking the bait.
It had the rusty corners like they all get, you know. Yeah. But then we were talking about, armor and stretch.
Yep.
Yeah. Armor and stretch and 1-tons.
Yeah.
New engine because the engine was shot in it, and
the trans and pedals and everything else goes in yours, and then that one gets an LS or TDR.
I've seen a lot of dollar bills floating.
Oh yeah, we don't have any of those.
Our imaginations outweighs our budget combined. Yeah.
We need the lottery for my
that's the problem. For our being like a do-it-yourselfer gearhead is like, you have an idea, you have an idea, I have an idea. We could build something amazing. We just need an investor.
So if we have any investors, please let us know.
Do you hate your money like we hate our money?
Oh God, we need an investor to invest in our projects.
Yeah, because we enjoy working on stuff. We work together.
Yep.
We listen to each other. We could build IKEA furniture. I know it. But
that's tough though. We can put together a Jeep, but IKEA furniture. Have you seen the instructions?
Well, it's to have a bit of patience and reassurance. When you say something's tight, I believe you. When you say something's tight, I believe you. When you tell me to do something, I listen. And then we all get it together. But yeah, no, every time you see them TJ or the JKs, it's just like, I want to buy, I want to buy, I want to buy.
Well, when there's cheap 2-doors, there's standards, and stuff. Cheap. Well, cheaper 2-doors.
Cheap is a relative term in the Jeep world.
At least the JK shows its sins in rust.
Yes.
If you see a JK that's got some rust on it, you'll see it in very similar locations.
Yeah.
But a TJ likes to hide it.
Very much so.
Yeah, that's it.
And the frame is like the biggest hider. Yeah. That will be something we'll have to get. We really have to.
We'll have to get our TJ expert.
We have to get our TJ expert up here and get him to chat about it because I don't really want to touch on TJs too much because I really feel the best person to do it would be Gary.
Yeah.
Because you've had one that needed work, but
I've done a lot of work.
Chassis, right?
I thought it had a solid chassis. I checked and I'm like, oh, that's solid.
Yeah.
So you bought a cheap TJ. Don't worry, keep an eye out for that episode. We may have to go down and kidnap our TJ specialist. Yeah. But I'm not going to lie to you.
Who's lived and breathed and still is.
Yeah, he's still breathing TJs.
And new ones show up.
Yeah.
Yep, just
new rabbits at the rabbit farm.
Yeah.
Oh God. No, I did have a moment. Mitch and I are going to Scout a trail tomorrow, and I literally almost texted Gary and be like, hey, so
what are you doing?
I need you here tomorrow morning. We're planning on leaving around 7. Let's get it done.
Yeah.
Could you leave tonight and stay over?
You could totally stay. Becky, Gary and Becky can sleep. Yeah, I think we got a near mattress.
Stay in my place. Their bed is still set up.
Well, there you go. I wasn't sure.
So
it was late notice. I wasn't sure, but no, I thought about it.
Now would be too late.
Now would be a bit too late. So Gary, if you're hearing this, I'm sorry. It was a bit too late. I thought about it, but don't worry if we get stuck tomorrow. I know Nick will leave baseball and break every law possible to get to us as quickly as possible to make sure we don't get out before he gets there.
Yes.
Nick, I didn't know you need an entourage.
Why? What's with all the camera equipment? I have to make sure I get every angle of this.
Yeah.
I am going to work my ass off to make sure I do not get stuck tomorrow or have any issues, because I will.
I really, honestly, I hope that you don't have any issues.
Yeah, just to keep things smooth.
Because I want to keep that good karma for you guys, but I will leave whatever I'm doing and come back.
I will drive hours. I will drive days.
I will drive days.
I still like that. That was the best message I ever got. I was doing a water crossing and I was in a place I didn't know and I couldn't see the bottom of the river, and it was pretty strong current, and I was like, text Nick, if I get stuck, will you come pull me out? I would drive days in bold to come pull you out. And I was like, all right, well, I guess we're going to see how this is.
I know where you stand now, yeah.
Yeah, and we got it sorted, right? So, I mean, I didn't need it, and but there's always that offer of I'll drive days to make sure that I can pull you out, just so I have photo evidence of that. But, no.
All right, so back to the mods. We did lift, rails, lights,
Procal.
Yeah.
And if you did tires, go gentle on your tire size to maintain your vehicle's happiness for the speed.
It depends on what you've got as a vehicle. If you've got a Sport or a Sahara with the a JK has the 321s.
Okay, so Sports are 321s. Saharas are usually 373s.
Saharas do come.
That's what I was. I was 373s, and then Rubicons are usually 410s.
Yeah,
or we heard some that had 373s.
Yeah. And I think can't you, one of the mods is now you can actually re-gear to heavier the JLs?
For $1,000 Canadian dollars, you can have 488s from the factory.
Oh, bloody hell, I would do that right away.
Oh, wow.
For $1,000
for $1,000 from the factory.
And all you do is just sign here, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but
That's a
to get a shop to do it, you're looking at $2,500 to $3,000.
Yeah. And...
Well, yeah, if you're paying for labor.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. If you're getting a shop to do it.
The setup set.
And I'm pretty sure when you would order it, and then Jeep would order it from Dana or whoever. I think it's Dana, right? They would come pre-made. So then it's a factory thing. That guy that does gears every single day just set it all up. Well, okay, we don't know 100%, but
we don't know how 100% if it was on a Friday or Monday or.
But okay, so yes. So the thing is though, that axle shows up. And it's ready to go, and it's bolted in, and you got a 48s in the factory, and you screw your 35s with your 2-inch puck lift, and I took a Rubicon. Of course, I prefer manual, but whatever. 35s, 488s, and a nice set of shocks.
Yeah,
look out, and a winch like you are, a trail guide.
But yeah, so the tires start. What's the stock size is about a 31. Again, depending on the trim level. But
trim level, they do have different sizes.
So
rims and everything else.
Rubicon and Willie's edition notwithstanding.
33-ish, right?
They're 33, 35, depending on what one you get.
And then you have the Moave and stuff like that. Like you can get 35s from factory.
Yeah. Extreme Recon, and we got the cool
we can totally, I was just saying, like, there's so many models and submodels. Like, there is no, like, standard, this is the tire size.
Yeah. This might be something that we could interlude in. So the last trail that we were on, the lead guy that was showing everyone the ropes, he had a 2-door manual Sahara, and it still I think it had a hardtop on it. And he stopped, and I said to him, I'm like, hey man, I like your Jeep, blah blah. He just screwed a set of tires on, nothing fancy. And I looked down the line, and there was a lot of nicer, fancier Jeeps that had bigger tires and all the lights and everything else, so no lockers. And I see this fella. And I just happened to say to him, I'm like, because he's a very confident, very casual guy, and I said, this isn't your first Jeep, as he was leading the trail. He's like, no, I've had plenty of Jeeps. So even an experienced guy that's been around the block and knows Jeeps and knows what he wants, He bought himself a 2-door Sahara and just modified it slightly. And he's still out there. It's much like yourself.
Yeah.
You got lots of time in, lots of experience. You know what you like. And from the onset, you wouldn't know your Jeep has a lot of mods. It doesn't. It only has a few, but it's very capable.
Yeah, yeah.
I say they're capable mods.
Yeah. Well, that's it. It's not... I don't think I have I don't have any... I have rock lights. Just because my inner fenders had a spot for rock lights, and
Why not?
One of these days we should put rock lights in it. So if we do end up going night wheeling, we
could do
have
fun
a little
pictures.
Yeah.
Cool fun pictures. Yeah. No, actually on one of the Jeep pages that I was on, it said to introduce yourself, and I was like, I listed out my Jeep, and I was like, unfortunately we did lockers before light bars, Jeep fail, and a hashtag, and someone's just like, this is the best comment I've seen today. Thank you.
But that's a significant investment.
Oh, it's not anything you do cheap. I mean, it's not even a quick thing. Like, you're locked front and rear. I'm locked in the front, kind of. I have a limited slip in the rear. You're open and limited slip rear, right? Yeah. So.
But again, choosing your line placement.
Yep.
You get by.
Wheelbase
and knowing your vehicle.
Knowing your vehicle, knowing your limits.
You're open, so you don't. Maybe you don't follow the trail guide's line that hangs a front tire.
Yeah. Because you specifically know that that's going to stop you.
Yeah.
Or potentially,
More likely to, for sure. No, but.
So that comes back to what we said. Like, if you are buying your Jeep from new and you have an idea of what you're looking at, you can get carried away on those option lists. Like, I would love I'd love to have half doors. Well, the half door and like the soft this and that.
Half doors are so expensive.
But it's so
nice.
cool, yeah.
They're so cool.
But cool is cash. Like, there's no question about it, you know.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. No, but
Yeah. So where are we now? So we touched on tires. Now we've seen people everything from like a damn near a street tire all terrain to, I don't really say wild tires. We don't have any bias plies. We don't have any of those MTC.
Well, Gary had the TSLs.
Okay, the IROCs.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had the IROCs TSLs.
Were they a bias ply tire?
Yeah.
Oh, they worked and looked
I don't think they were radial.
I don't think they were a bias ply.
Oh, so we're at odds here.
Oh, well, no, we'll have to confirm that.
Yeah.
I had IROCs. I'm pretty sure they were radial.
Yeah, were they?
You can get radial IROCs and you can get bias IROCs, I'm pretty sure.
I would have thought.
The same tread pattern, though.
But yours are so balloony. I would have sworn yours were a bias.
I never had flat spots. They were never hard like that. They never had the bias ply personalities.
Thump, 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 thump.
No.
Which you will have next?
We'll see.
We'll see where the...
I don't know. My tires are almost done.
They got lots of life left.
It's wearing fast.
Well, they're putting the miles on now.
You need to get street tires, and then you need to get like weekend tires.
I have street tires. I just need rims.
Yes, I need to work on that for you. Because you don't like messaging people nicely. Anyways, this is why I am the people person.
We're a team, right? We're a team.
We're people. Yeah, we're all a team.
Everybody has their strengths.
Yeah. If it's city things, I can pick it up.
Yeah.
If it's messaging, you can do it. If it's East End, you can do it.
Yeah.
Group.
Yep.
Group. We work it out.
Gotcha. So we've done. And then tires, we've seen everything from people buying. What would you say? Like
well, I've seen straight. We had some guys with some straight street tires coming.
Yep. For a couple of our new ones, absolutely.
And they did just fine.
Yep.
They kept up.
Yeah. Especially if it's a little bit dry. Those springtime or fall, no, not necessarily springtime, but fall.
When you get into a little bit of the slick mud, that's where the
slick
tires
mud's
fail.
leaves.
Yeah.
Wet leaves.
Yeah, wet rock.
Yes.
Yeah.
That cold, damp rock and that mud.
So that's their limitation. That's where.
But again, that's a time of year thing.
Yeah.
If it's an August or July thing, street tires all day long.
Oh, well, even right now, think of how dry the trails are right now.
Yep.
Like, we have gone through a really, really dry patch.
Yeah.
Although we did see video and pictures of concession after we had ran old logging, and it's a swamp.
Oh, is it?
So, and I'm like, it hasn't rained in 2 weeks here.
Yeah.
I guess that water just is not going anywhere. It doesn't maybe have those wells.
Yeah. We did see a lot of wells on that one trail we just scouted.
Say, what else name would you have that? Like trench, runoff ditch, like
settling pond.
Settling pond.
Settling pond.
That sounds very Northern Ontarian.
Tell me you're a bushman without telling me you're a bushman.
Settling pond is for like waste disposal.
Yeah, like mines.
Oh, okay.
Mines and
That are found in the north.
Yeah.
there's settling ponds just okay. So it's to the north, but it's like a kilometer north.
Oh, for the town settling
Yeah.
ponds, not the same. No money to be made in that.
Oh,
man.
God.
I'm like they're to the north, but not very far.
Damn it, she got me.
And then another example of what you can do with your Jeep that we've recently discovered. One of our newer members, right? He lives in a place where he cannot fit a big Jeep. So he's in an underground parking. So instead of going bigger and higher with tires and lift, he's just kind of kitted himself out.
Yeah.
He's got that surround, for the grill to protect.
And his top.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. His top is epic. I love his top.
I love his top. It's heavy, but
Is it heavy?
well, that panel was heavy. That we took
Really?
out it was probably
40 pound?
3 times a week.
Really?
You had to manage it, and it's so nice.
Yeah.
So to give it some contrast, context. Yeah, not contrast. We were doing lots of that.
Yeah.
The context is where it's a company or a service that
Yeah.
they cut out the center and then they actually glue in or epoxy in glass.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
I didn't think it would be heavy. I figured you'd almost throw
Glass
those
is
panels. They'd be
surprisingly
so
heavy.
easy.
Glass is very heavy, sir.
No,
I didn't realize they were glass.
Yeah, they're full
I
glass.
didn't think they were glass. I figured they were like some
like
sort of
plexiglass or something. No.
yeah, but like a better quality
Yeah.
plexiglass.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't actually think they'd be glass.
No, they're glass.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want
makes
some?
it
No
even
wonder
more
they cleaned
cooler,
up.
right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
no wonder they
And
cleaned
it
up
will
so
look.
bloody
I was gonna say
nicely.
it'll look great forever. Do you want some fresh magic?
This? No, I'm good.
No magic bag.
No, I'm good. It actually helped out a lot.
Are you lefty?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, of course.
Throwing home.
Thrown to first.
And you played third?
Yeah.
I played third. Not good for a lefty, is it?
We're completely off topic right now.
Oh,
so
we can
we're
edit.
gonna- I was
Well,
gonna say
no,
we're
it's
gonna have
great for a lefty because my glove is on the line. Yeah.
So do you do
So
like
I
the
can-
scoop and toss and then throw?
Well, if I'm cocky, and that never works out. Honestly, if I got to run to my right to grab a ball, I'll scoop it and I have to spin to throw, or else I have to stop, set, throw. It's faster for me to scoop it and in one motion spin and throw.
Wow.
So that took a long time to get anywhere as close to being accurate.
Sounds
I'm close to being accurate.
That's yeah.
Some like it's hit or miss. I keep telling the first baseman, I'm like, hope you're in for an adventure.
Yeah. This is your window of target.
Yeah.
And I will throw probably outside that.
Yeah.
Because I'll be doing it as fast as I can.
Yeah.
I remember in soccer, I really wanted to learn how, when they do the like, I guess a handstand essentially. Or
On
no,
the
I guess
ball?
it's a front flip, yeah. And you go down, you hit the ball, and then when your feet land, you can throw it, but it's ridiculously far. And my grandfather played football his entire life. He's like, it is amazing, but your accuracy is nothing. He's like, you can throw a ball to the person you want to. He's like, you do that, you can fucking pitch it far, but who knows where the fuck it's going.
Yeah.
Out of bounds.
Oh, no, it wouldn't go out of bounds. You got to aim yourself properly. But yeah, you wouldn't be able to, if there's any last second change, as soon as you started your front flip,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be able to tell where it was.
Committed.
Yeah, you were committed. But I always wanted to learn how to do that. That was like one of my
It's not
things.
too late.
I'm old.
I was gonna
As
say
I told Rebecca, she was like, "Oh my god, you used to fix horses, and you used to do all this. Do you want to fix mine? We could work out a deal. I'll fix you when you break." And I'm like, I'm old as fuck. I'm not getting on a stupid horse.
You're not even 34.
No, I don't bounce the way I used to anymore. I used to bounce, be able to get up, and I used to finish my whatever the fuck I was
bouncing on your
doing.
neck doesn't count.
So
Yes, but she was just like, I can fix you when you break. If you break at all, she's like, you'll do fine. And I'm like, no.
No.
I don't fall, and when I fall, it's not pretty anymore.
you could wear a padded suit.
I usually wear a vest, but it's more, I almost need like a Hans device for my neck, because my neck does its own fucking thing.
So, fun fact. Still completely off topic, so all this is getting cut out.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
But down at the races, like, Dean's nieces and he got a car and
Yeah.
races and whatnot. So they did the races and one of the kids got in an accident, flipped and whatnot. He wasn't wearing a Hans device.
Oh shit.
they're mandatory, and they weren't. The kid didn't have one, and so they got sanctioned or whatever from the track, and all the guys in the pit went over and basically chased this guy out of the fucking race course, because you don't put your kid in the car without that.
We actually looked at Hans devices for Ashton.
Just a punk, yeah. Just starting out.
Yeah.
We looked at that for the kids when we started off-roading.
Oh, yeah.
So we have 2 big stuffy teddy bears, and they Velcro to the car seat.
Oh, yeah.
And they shove up into their neck, and it holds their head in between the car seat.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because that's...
When they were little.
When they were little, yeah. No, we did that specifically because I reached out to one of my buddies who races ATVs.
Yeah.
And I went, what's the smallest Hans device you can find? Do you know of a company that's like very small that does it for younger kids? Because I know it was getting younger and younger. And he's like, I haven't really seen it for that kind of, that young of a size. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, because even aired down, there's all that jarring.
There's still a little bit of jarring.
Because you were off-roading when they were babies.
Yeah. Archer was off-roading that summer. So he wasn't even a year.
Yeah, so I'm going to keep this in because that's a good... You can off-road with kids.
You can off-road with kids. We've off-roaded. Ashton was 2 months when we went down to Florida.
Yeah.
He was 2 months when we did the Florida Jeep Invasion. Yeah, he was a little baby. He was 2 months old when we went down there. Yeah, 2 months.
Yeah, and Archer pretty well.
Archer was right away.
Yeah.
As soon as that summer came around, he was out in the Jeep with us. So both of our boys have been wheeling pretty much since they've been born.
Yeah. So they've
had a lot of experiences.
Family affair.
Yeah. Absolutely. So what's something like? Because obviously they're kids, they're going to be busy and whatnot. Especially your boys, they're super busy.
Yes, our boys are definitely not boring.
Yeah. So what's some things that you bring for them?
Lots of food, lots of snacks.
Yeah.
Is there snacks and drinks because they always are thirsty?
Snacks and drinks. If I know we're doing a trail, like I didn't this time, but when we were going to go scout that trail. And we weren't planning on doing a cleanup, but we ended up doing a cleanup.
Oh, yeah.
Probably what I would have done is I would have brought the tablet.
Oh, yes.
But realistically, the boys are... It depends on what level of laundry I want to do, because my kids are very busy, so they will find puddles and stuff like that. So, I mean, if it's a dry trail, I have no problems letting the boys out to go and run, and that's honestly the best thing that we can do at any obstacles. But if it is something like we do have a trail that's rainy, it's really technical, I can't have them out of the Jeep because I need them contained so I don't have to watch them while I'm trying to navigate someone else through. I do bring our tablet along. I have movies downloaded and everything like that. We have toys in the Jeep and everything like that they can play with. I was just saying, we include them. That's the big thing. As long as you can keep them included and you can talk to them and you can tell them what you're doing and ask their opinion. I really like when Ashton's like engaged and everything like that, because sometimes he does gap out. I'm not gonna lie. I think we all kind of do to a certain extent, especially with heat and everything. But he's great to be like, I'm like, hey, so do you think I should go high on the side or low? And he'll be like, go high, you know. And then like we're completely off kilter, and he's just giggling like a schoolgirl in the back. So I mean, like it's a lot of fun that way.
Yes.
You know. So and I mean, he's been like that all the time. I mean, we were looking at
he's a future gearhead.
Absolutely.
No question.
He's a mega future gearhead.
Yeah.
But we sat through today and we were looking at photos from one of the Jeep shows we went through a few years ago down in Bantam.
Yeah. And
he was looking through and he's like, can we go this year? And I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure it's this weekend, love. Like, we can't
That's
go.
That's a little bit of short notice.
And I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's today. Like, we can't go. But, like, I'd love to go next year with you. He's like, yeah, because I want to see this. And, oh, my gosh, I remember that. And he was so absorbed in the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know? And he's like, I want to go down and do that again. So... I'm really looking forward to that. I mean, both of them are pretty much into them.
Yeah, it's just the travel time is the only part that's not so fun.
Yeah.
But we'll get through it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the boys are pretty good. They know at the end they usually get we usually stop at Tim Hortons on the way pretty.
Yeah, they get their cookie.
So they get their cookie, they get their like baked treat or whatever. Yeah. When it gets hot, like it has been the last few weeks, we'll do like an ice drink or something like that for them to share. And I don't know, we seem to have a balance out and
and bring more water than what you think you'll need.
Oh, absolutely.
That's a big one. Is bring lots of water, and like you guys have a cooler that you take with you.
Absolutely.
And Cheryl and I, we bring coolers.
Yep. I would say we usually have an entire cooler of water and Gatorade,
and everybody's so giving. Like when we're on the trail, if someone doesn't have what they they need or they're running low, somebody always has extra.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's huge.
Typically, yeah.
Yeah. No, we're pretty. I feel like us as a group, we're all pretty good at like keeping an eye on everybody and making sure we all have it.
Because you look at a situation, you get into a situation like we had when we went to Greens. We're going up there. We're thinking 3, 4, maybe 5 hours max, right? 12 hours later, we're out of the trail.
Yeah, what's happening here?
And it was a hot day.
Oh, it was a really hot day.
So,
and we were in the XJ too, because that was after the break, and I think I was just like, my Jeep's not doing anything that's hard.
Yeah, we lost faith in the 30.
Lost faith in the 30, absolutely. And that's why when it was just like, it's a hard trail, and I'm like, I broke on a hard trail, I'm not willing to risk it. I don't want to fucking deal with that with a huge group, because we had a decent sized group with us too.
Yeah, we did.
And we took the XJ through.
There was 2 massive groups on there.
Yeah,
oh, there was more than 2.
But like, so you could run into, if you break on the trail, you want to have enough snacks and food and whatnot. And it doesn't have to be, you don't have to go out and buy prepackaged stuff. Like pepperettes. Cheryl cut up veggies and make up sandwiches and whatnot. Like
it goes a long way. Well, when we were waiting when the white Jeep broke, and we were just waiting together, everyone had taken off, and by the time the tow truck showed up, like when we dragged him out to the trail, and we had my Jeep and we had the white Jeep, and Ashley Man and I and like I said, the white Jeep owner, we were all just hanging out. We were eating the last of his snacks.
Well, it was funny though, because actually in the back seat of your Jeep was a Ziploc bag full of snacks.
No way.
Yes, because it's now sitting on the passenger seat, and I'm like, I need to throw that out. That's a year old.
That's a pretty good science experiment.
No, but that's that's completely. I usually try to do a Ziploc bag of just everything, like crackers, all sorts of Rice Krispies, just
things.
Just things.
Yeah, because the kids are, when they're peckish, they're peckish.
Yeah, but also too, just touching back on things that you don't think you're going to need. Water is a big thing because think about that one time you blew a rat hose, Yeah,
that wasn't even that far. We haven't even made it to the trail yet.
No, we were driving through close to my parents' house.
The water pump started to seize up, and then it made a noise, and I'm like, God, guys, I don't really like this. I'm going to turn back around, and then we stopped. It started to, because it was seizing up, started to kind of piss out, and then we topped it up, and we limped it back to your parents. By the time we got to your parents, we were just dumping in water to keep it going.
Yeah, we were dumping in a lot of water. So I mean, you wouldn't think about it, but we went through a fuck ton of water in that point.
Then we still went wheeling.
Yeah, because we went wheeling in ours.
So then it's like we burned through a lot of the reserves, but good thing you had things like Gatorade, water, pop, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So friends, yeah.
And
it's funny the things that come up, eh?
Yeah. Well, and it ties into first aid too. Wash it, like if you get any scrapes or whatever.
Absolutely, carry a knife with you, which is a big thing because stabbing the top of a water bottle, spray a cut down is it's worth its weight in gold for that alone.
Mm-hmm. You wouldn't think the first aid kit was that needed, but we've had every year there's at least one.
Multiple incidents, and they're not serious. No. Very fortunately.
Very fortunate, but even. We've had bee stings and stuff like that, where we've had kids who have had issues in the past with bee stings, and I have kids Benadryl. Yeah. I have a full first aid kit of all meds and everything like that, so it can handle allergies, it can handle pain, I have sleeping pills in there because I think we went to Ardbeg, and I was like packing sleeping pills in the first aid kit because we're probably gonna need them.
Oh, well, the thing is, too, like, when you have all those distractions, like, Ardbeg's a pretty busy place, as we know. Yeah. Sleeping pills go a long way. And, again, that's not really something you would have on an everyday trail, but... Mm-hmm.
No, but I was just saying, pretty much all of our... When you look at all of our first aid kits, especially if you bring them all together. Yeah. Like, you bring, yours, I bring mine, Christine, one of our members, she brings hers. Yeah. Like, if you put all our first aid kits together, because they're all... I think they're all handmade. Like, all three of us.
Yeah, they're all hand-picked.
Put together.
It's impressive what we could do with our 3 first aid kits.
Yeah, we're set for a week kind of thing.
Yeah. We're absolutely set, and we're set for something that could be very traumatic as well. So I mean, but I feel like we could handle it until we were able to get help for that individual. Yeah. So I do feel confident that we have
first aid, a well-stocked first aid kit.
A well-stocked first aid
kit.
And
it doesn't have to, you don't have to go serious and get one of those wilderness first aid kits. Like
no.
It's all in what you're comfortable in using. So it could be as simple as antiseptic wipes and Band-Aids and a tensor bandage and a sling, You
know what's really good? Vet wrap.
Yeah.
Vet wrap is amazing. I have narrow stuff and I have wide stuff. I have 2 rolls of each. Blue, it matches my blue of my Jeep. Yes, I did that.
Mm-hmm.
It's cheap and available.
Yeah, it's $1.50 a roll. No, I think it's $2.50 a roll. It used to be $1.50 a roll. But like I do all my pills are in those week planners.
Yeah.
I have pills that are that. That's how all my pills are set up.
Yeah.
And then on the back it has a list of what the pills are.
Yeah.
So it was great. I put Tums in it and everything like that. I did it once when we were traveling, and it kind of stuck with me. And so then every year I go through, dump it out, and restock it.
Yeah, the one thing to maybe add in, one of us is those water purification tablets.
Yeah.
In case you ever run into a situation where you need it.
You have the
Life Straw.
Oh, you
Life
got the
Straw.
Life Straw. Okay, so you do have the way to.
Yeah, that was a gift from Christine.
Yes, because you were just like, I've heard of those things. That's so cool. And she's just like, you were like geeking out hard about it.
The whole concept of taking water from these areas that we're in, and being able to draw it in and be able to drink from it, it's just beautiful.
Yeah, it's gonna taste like ass, but
it seems absolutely preposterous.
You're not gonna get a parasite, so that's.
Huge.
I guess that's a big thing, yeah.
Well, and in an emergency situation, who cares if it tastes like ass? Like, you need it.
You're thirsty.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
And you're just, you're lucky you don't have to drink a parasite, But no, I feel like as a whole, we have, like we're going out tomorrow. We have our compressor and everything like that in it, which is
that's a huge mod we didn't talk about.
That is a huge mod we didn't talk about, but
What's that?
A compressor.
Oh, yeah.
Because you don't think that airing down is a big thing until you do it for the first time and you realize, wow, that takes so much of the shock and the vibration.
It takes like the little
hammer.
tiny rocks and like the little tiny pebbles that are smaller than baseballs. You don't feel those anymore.
No.
And your air, like your heavily inflated tire, doesn't seem to grab as well as the soft tire.
No, the soft tire will definitely crawl over obstacles and everything like that.
Well, there's charts online that you can see the comparison of the tread. Like at 30 psi all the way down to 7 psi.
And I think JLs are like 36 pound or 37 pound. Like they want the psi.
Yeah.
And you figure we run down the road 27, 28 psi.
Yeah.
And then we get down, 12 to 15 if we're not really in a
15 if we're in a big group. We usually put it down to 15 if we're in a big group, and that's just because usually our compressors need it elsewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to share the air.
Yep. And usually when we have a big group like that, we have a few that don't have a compressor yet, or their compressor isn't that great.
It's a small one.
Because to get a good compressor is not a cheap.
Yeah, it's $300.
Yeah.
Minimum.
And that's
for a decent one. Yeah.
And you got to wait on it.
Yeah.
If you bought a good one, like a brand name good one, 600 probably.
I don't think ours is 600.
No. I'm saying like if you have a North American built, brand name like an ARB or somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, they're close to 1,000.
Well, for onboard air, or no, I guess they make portable pumps, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've seen it before where the guy had underneath his seat, he had one of those, either a twin compressor, like twin pumps, central motor, and he had the airlines going out. He could do all 4 tires at the same time. That was kind of cool, but I imagine that was probably a G or G and a half, no problem.
Yeah, easy.
That was probably a G back then. That's probably a G and a half now.
Yeah, you put ARB on it, it goes up 30%.
Absolutely.
You would hope though, if you're spending the money and you don't have.
Oh, it goes up for a reason. They're known for their quality.
Yeah.
So that's huge.
Yeah.
So especially if you are running an air locker, or something like that.
Yeah.
You can have like the tie-in.
Yeah.
So then you've had all the money spent.
Yeah. Right.
I would just say we have a twin piston compressor,
which we recently took apart. But
anyways, that's not the point. But yours is just a single.
Mine's just a single.
It's probably the exact same as ours inside.
Probably.
And just you have another piston on the other end.
I just couldn't.
And yours is just like your winch has been used a lot.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it just needs a new Teflon.
Oh, it might be something now that we're taking them all apart.
Because you've seen it firsthand. You know how it goes together.
Where do you get those?
Ooh, good question.
I have no idea.
I didn't even take a measurement when I had it apart.
I'll have to look online.
Actually, you know what?
You can buy rebuild kits for them.
You can have yours apart in 5 minutes or less.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, but if maybe you can get rebuild kits for them.
Yeah.
And I'm almost positive all you need was that Teflon. And if your bore's worn, flip the whole bore. Because for a fact, I know you can do that. Anyhow, this is all editable stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but some of the other things that we include in our kit, like as I said, we're going out tomorrow solo. We have our compressor. We have I have what I call my go bag. So I have my strap in it. I have shackles. I have a
recovery strap, not toe strap, right?
yes, a recovery strap.
Yes, it's an important distinction. No, it's an important distinction. You have your strap. There's a difference.
I usually end up using it for towing.
That's fine. You can use
what
it.
most
You can
of
use
mine.
you can use a recovery strap for towing. But you can't use a toe strap for recovery.
That's true. No, mine actually has
Shouldn't.
a decent amount of shock to it. I really like. It's the same brand as Cheryl's actually.
Oh, is it?
The one that we got Cheryl for
Okay.
Christmas. So it has a little bit of kinetic energy in it, which is really nice.
That's what you need for in the recovery.
Yeah. I think eventually we should invest in a proper kinetic.
We need a bungee rope.
We need a bungee. It would be
question.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool for
Oh,
at least.
there to see those things work is amazing.
It is, and we have.
Can you tow with them?
You shouldn't with the rope.
No, but we still have our straps, so it would make a difference.
Yeah.
Well, it would take all the shock out. If you could double it back and it had half the give, but it would take up that shock load.
That would be a discussion though that we could definitely have with one of our sponsors. You know, we have our local guy, Afraid Not. You know,
we can just buy one, and then you and I can try it. I'll just drag you around a bunch.
Oh, good.
So sorry, you have your strap, your shackles.
We actually have a balloon jack. How would you? Was that what
an exhaust jack.
Yeah, that's probably the way.
It's an exhaust jack, but it looks like a bubble. I don't know. We have one of those. Mine works quite well. We've had it.
We should try it again soon.
We should try it again soon because it looks so weird. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's such an odd thing.
We used it one time, didn't we?
We used it a couple times unsuccessfully and a couple times relatively successfully.
So we used it when we had to change the bead out, when we had to change the stem out down in Florida, down in Daytona. That was the yellow jack.
Wow.
Yeah. When we did, when we had one of our members big tip, do not put large caps on your wheels.
Yes.
They will be ripped off.
The valve stem caps.
Yes, the valve. Sorry.
Because your valve stem's not designed to carry a big load.
No, it's not.
Or a load with an impact.
And
but
when they stick out like that, especially on the stock rims and the stock offset, they stick out and shear it off on a rock.
Yep. And then that's when we had, but that was a different one. That wasn't mine. That was my dad's, and that one had never been used before.
And there was a problem with the check valve or something.
There was something issues with that, but no, like mine works. Mine has worked. We just don't really need it, so it's not really used, you know.
And that was tricky because when that cap come off, when the stem come off, he had parked in a location that it was tricky to get underneath.
Yeah.
There was no solid ground.
No, there was no solid ground to put a jack.
Because it was sand.
Yeah, it was muddy sand.
Yeah, it was strange.
Yeah.
We did okay, and thankfully it was a 2-door on relatively stock tires. But I kind of forgot about that.
No, but it's a big thing. But we actually have quite a few members. I think actually he might be one of them that he changes out his valve caps when he goes on a trail.
Yeah.
We have
been once, twice shy.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've had people. We've had lots of people.
Oh well, White Jeep had really nice caps.
Yep.
The long stems, and he'd take them off and just leave the brass sticking out.
Yeah. Or we have Joel who has he has skulls earthbound.
Yeah.
You know, and he puts black caps on it.
Yeah.
Keep them nice.
Just for the runs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then when he airs up, the bigger valve caps go on. So it's not completely like don't do it, but don't take them off roading.
Be cognizant of what you have.
Yeah, just be aware of what you have. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, some of the I was just say you guys, what are some of the? Oh, I have a socket set.
Yeah, just a standard socket set.
Just standard socket set, nothing easy. I always carry a set of vice grips and zip ties because if someone outflexes their Jeep and rips out a brake line, we can fold that sucker over and vice grip it and zip tie it to the frame and nurse her out.
So yeah, my toolbox is a little, again, between us all as a group, we have the tools to fix almost anything.
Yeah.
Mine, I have my battery operated impact.
I say usually
my battery operated grinder.
That's huge.
An extra zip discs and an extra grinding disc, and same thing, socket set, screwdriver set, vice grips, different sets of pliers, like different styles of pliers, needle nose, linesman, whatever.
I feel like the screwdrivers is an overlooked thing because think about fixing. Remember when Nightmare wheeled that taillight off?
Yeah.
The hardest thing we had was to find a screwdriver, not just the bit, because you always have the bit set.
Yeah.
But to have a screwdriver that had the length and the ability to get all the way in there to take that screw out.
Yeah, and I mean, my screwdriver was picked up on sale for $20, and it's a full set.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
And it comes with its own little carrying bag.
Yeah. No, it is something we should look into to expand our
rags.
Things. Oh yeah.
I have electrical tape. In mine, I have
There's
a few basic electrical connectors and a crimp and stripping tool.
Yeah, like we're pretty much ready. Like you're art bag ready.
Save a break. So I have the breaker, like our breaker bar.
Yeah.
We have a bunch
you got those adjustable Nimpex. They're good for
pry bars. I think I carry a couple of different pry bars and a cold chisel.
So really, we just need a welder, and we're ready to do all the repairs.
Well, if we have all of our batteries, we just need the cables and the rod.
We gotta try that.
I was just saying, I usually do carry jumper cables in my Jeep, or actually, I think they're in your Jeep now.
Because I don't know if you'd need 2 or 3 batteries.
I have no idea.
I'm not sure.
We gotta try that.
Yeah, we'll have to.
One day, just like we're gonna be like, why are there these line of batteries here? We're trying something fun.
We can just do it in the garage because you know what? Like, if you can get the approximate right voltage, it doesn't drop much because you have so much amperage stored. You can just lay down the beam.
I'll have to give it a shot sometime.
Yeah. I think we have spare batteries.
I just say there's a few spares in the shop. I think there might even be a big chip battery in there, so we'll have to see. What's some of the? I would say you carry a lot of fluids in yours.
Yeah, brake fluid is a big one for me. ATF because it goes in multiple things. A little bit of gear oil and then some engine oil.
And usually we after you had your water pump issue, you were carrying around a cleaned out jug of washer fluid just full of water.
Yeah, just for that because
just again, if there was any issues, we had a jug full of it. And that was when I would say we were running the XJ every run, so we kind of between the two of us, we were pretty well set up.
Well, that seems to be the thing. How all these kits are built out is because you run into a situation where you didn't have a thing, so you're not going to be caught without.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. And you probably will never need it again.
Probably not.
Nope.
But it's there.
And some of these older Jeeps, like mine, you're aware of some of the history, but then you're also very cognizant of the different noises that it's making.
Yep.
So you say, okay, this is making a bit of a noise. I'm going to check that before the run because I've been caught with that noise. That's a very slight noise, and the next thing you know, something's packing it in.
Yeah. Yes, you're spitting a U-joint.
Yeah. This most of this stuff's been engine related, but yeah.
Oh,
like you have that one little squeal, then the bearing's happy for a bit, and then one little squeal, and now we're doing a water pump. You know, like these are things, and then you're like, okay, well, when I'm doing this, I'm gonna check every single bearing. You know.
Well, even think about even Jeepers Creepers. You know, like she's very hormonal about her fuel.
Yeah.
You know, we put fuel in once from a non-well-traveled gas station, and we went out on an obstacle, and she was going in, and you felt like something's wrong.
Yeah.
You know, we went up that first obstacle, and she died.
Yeah, those tanks are above ground, so.
Yeah, well, that was that one instance. We also had that one when we were on Forest that did that, and I stalled twice going up on Forest.
That's happened to a lot of people from that gas station.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and that's why I will never go to that gas station again. And as much as I like to support small gas stations, my Jeep will not tolerate it.
No.
Yeah.
And it kills it.
Yeah, ultra water there on the way, that's not good.
Yeah, well, it does it. Well, it makes the Jeep run like garbage. We usually have to run injector cleaners through it, and then usually it's a couple tanks later when she starts actually acting normal again.
Yeah.
So, like, we are very aware of that, but once you're aware of it, we haven't had an issue since because we are aware of that.
Just think of all the editing, Nick. This is going to be great.
So much editing. I don't know. I don't think that wasn't terrible.
It's not horrible.
Where are we at here?
We're an hour and 11, and there was some, so we could probably get 40 minutes out of this.
All right, so is there anything else that we need to touch on? So it's an easy handle.
The only thing we didn't do is
for kids hydration.
Yeah, we didn't.
Wet wipes.
Well, if you've ever been in a situation where you need to use nature's call or answer nature's call, there's nothing better than a wet wipe. It does things for you. It does things for your children, and you're good. And if you're in a situation where you can pack it out with you, you
even
know,
better.
Yeah, because then you're not just leaving your stuff behind for the next guy.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, it's just so yeah, not really sure if there's anything else you kind of need to be prepared when you've got Jeeps and you decide you want to head out.
Like there's some noises that they make. You're gonna hear wind noise.
Yep, you're gonna hear wind noise if you decide that you're going to go light bars over lockers. They whistle.
Yeah, light bars
my gosh,
whistle.
do they whistle?
It's like carrying. If you've ever carried a ladder on top of a truck or heard one going by and you hear that whistle, that's what a light bar does. Mud tires, they make noise. They
slap. They hum.
And they hum more as they age, but you need to rotate and mud terrain tires especially, you need to rotate them more often than you
periodically balance.
Yeah, I was just saying we're big on making sure that our tires are balanced every year. So,
and most importantly, if you got a Jeep and you need something, you need Jeep friends.
Yeah,
Jeep friends are fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, like
maybe the first mod.
Definitely get Jeep friends because they're great. I mean, think about anything really, you know, like you had your axle, you had your diff barrier. You came over here and you're like, fuck, we were calling parts stores. It was they were closing in 5 minutes. Yeah, we have the part. Well, you're an hour away. There's no way I can get there in time. Yeah. We had a box full of parts from my previous axle build,
and it wasn't even a hesitation on your guys' part. It's like, well, let's just use this one.
Well, exactly. And you're like, I'll replace it. You don't need to replace it. It's fine. This is why we have all this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so
that's why I never went to somebody else or scrap. Right?
No, well, exactly. Like we do go through and we try to
found a nylon guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nylon guide for Nick's axle. Yeah. That's a whole other thing. Hopefully, we'll this episode will be out. Hopefully. Long after this.
Yeah.
But yes, we have to do axle seals in Nick's Jeep very soon.
Yeah.
Axle seal singular.
Yeah. At least it is singular.
It is singular.
Actually, it was funny because you and I were looking at your truck today, and you were like, "Oh, it's leaking a little bit of oil." And I'm like, "Oh, an axle seal." I'm like, "Oh, we should have a seal party."
A seal party?
And I'm like, "Well, just there's seals everywhere." Well, exactly. That's what I did in the driver. I was like, "Arr, arr."
Just clubbing them.
Oh my god.
Oh, maybe we should shut it down now.
All right, so we're at the end of our episode tonight, and we're just, welcome to the Jeep Road. I guess actually one thing that we should tell everybody that I see a lot of it on a lot of the group things is your Jeep will leak.
No, yes.
Accept it.
Yeah.
Are JLs better?
No.
It will leak.
If you have a soft top, it will leak.
No.
Hard top.
Hard top. Doors.
Doors.
Everything will leak.
It has a removable leak.
It does have It does have holes in the floor or plugs. Sorry, not holes in the floor. That's the wrong term.
Well, they are holes in the floor. They have plugs.
They have plugs. There are plugs in the floor. I definitely recommend taking them out. I know all three of us. We have no carpets in any of our vehicles.
My carpet was mildewy smelling.
Yeah, that's
before I went in and swamped it and anything. That was unswamped carpet.
That's just rain.
That's just rain coming in the Jeep.
Yeah. So mine had. So the reason why my carpets got ripped out is my lovely husband and I, we were going out for dinner, and I drove my kids down to meet him in the city, and I had this beautiful black dress hung up in the back, dropped my kids off to my parents, put on my dress. My dress just touched the floor of my Jeep. And what happens when you dangle a towel close to water? The water goes
wicks up.
So it was about up to my waist.
Smelling like Nick's Jeep.
I smelled like wet dog mold and just yuck. And like we're sitting in a very expensive restaurant, and I'm like, I want to go home. And I'm like, I smell so bad. I don't want to eat. Let's just go home. I'm gonna put on my normal clothes. And yeah, I think that like a week later, I'm like, we gotta get rid of the carpet. It's gotta go.
Because if it's doing that to your dress, it's probably rotting the floor.
Yes, and that was a big thing for us, is we had a lot of water pooling in the Jeep because it was just sitting in the carpets.
Yeah, how long can this last?
So we did pull the floors out. I mean, like it does have its own implications. I mean, my floors do get warm. I can't.
They do get warm. You got more road noise.
Yeah.
Got more road noise. You got more sound. Lot of road noise. Especially if you don't have the plugs in and you take the mats out, you can hear everything. Yeah. You can see everything too if you look down really close. So
what do you want to live with?
Yeah, exactly. It depends on what your comfort level
and
is,
what
right?
you're using it for.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was gonna say you're taking away some of the nicest of the vehicle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but then you're also
it becomes more utilitarian at that point.
More Jeep.
Yeah. Well, exactly. It's a Jeep.
More utilitarian. There's different levels of Jeep. Sometimes I wish I had my carpet back still because it was so nice looking. But
true. Yeah, exactly. And it made that take the heat away and the sound.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Although it's nice in the winter though, because like the heat of the floor kind of warms up your feet. But that's a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
But yeah, so welcome to the Jeep world. If you're new to Jeeps and you're listening in, welcome in. Sorry about your luck. Probably should have done more research. No. Honestly, welcome though. Just remember to empty every pocket when you head into this. And I guess we're at the end. So are you gonna tell me what you're drinking? Right. Ironically, True North. Hilarious.
True North All Natural Light IPA has a moose on it.
There you go.
Moosey.
Let's just say, who's it by? Does it have?
Did you get through it okay?
It's really good. Magnata Brewery. Oh.
Well, you don't like them?
Anyways.
I'm drinking a Simply Spiked or Blueberry this evening.
And I got an IPA by Forked River. It's pretty darn good. Interstellar. It's one of my longtime favorites, so.
So it's pretty much your staple one.
It's a standby.
Yeah, it's a staple that we have around the house usually. So, all right. Until next time, give us a like, give us a follow. We're on Spotify. We're on stop. All right, so that comes to the end of our episode, and give us a like, give us a follow. We're on Spotify, Apple, Google, YouTube.
Yep.
We have our Instagram and Facebook page at WSOTR Jeeps, where you can reach us anytime at our email at wsotrjeeps@gmail.com. And one of us will get back to you right away. We're very active on our Facebook page.
Active.
So if you have any questions, give us a comment, give us a like, and we'll see you next time. Happy trails.
Ciao.